with Kim.
And I'm Denise.
And we are
It's Real.
Join us as we bring the Bible to life.
And discover Jesus in both the Old and New Testament.
Hi, I'm Kim.
And I'm Denise.
And this is
It's Real.
Yes, it is. And we are continuing our study in Genesis, and today we're continuing in chapter 17, verse 15, and we'll complete chapter 17 today. Then God said to Abraham, "As for Sarai, your wife, you shall not call her name Sarai, but Sarah shall be her name. And I will bless her and also give you a son by her. Then I will bless her, and she shall be the mother of nations. Kings of people shall be from her." Then Abraham fell on his face and laughed and said in his heart, "Shall a child be born to a man who is 100 years old? And shall Sarah, who is 90 years old, bear a child?" And Abraham said to God, "Oh, that Ishmael might live before you." Then God said, "No, Sarah, your wife, will bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his descendants after him. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, and I will make him fruitful, and will multiply him exceedingly. He shall beget 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah shall bear to you at this set time next year." Then he finished talking with him, and God went up from Abraham.
So Abraham took Ishmael his son, all who were born in his house, and all who were bought with his money, every male among the men of Abraham's house, and circumcised the flesh of their foreskin, that very same day, as God had said to him. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin, and Ishmael his son was 13 years old when he was circumcised in the flesh of his foreskin. That very same day, Abraham was circumcised in his son Ishmael, and all the men of his house born in the house or bought with money from a foreigner were circumcised with him.
Ooh.
All right, so you had everybody circumcised on the same day and everybody healing at the same time.
At the same time.
All right.
Ooh. They didn't have peels then.
Nope.
Oh, bless their hearts. So, we're looking at verse 15, and Sarai's name is being changed.
Yeah.
To Sarah. Yeah. And Sarah means princess.
Okay.
Yeah. Sarah means princess, and it says that nations and kings will come from Sarah.
Mm-hmm. It does. And they added the H on the end of her name, so it's got that breath sound.
The breath sound, the
Yep.
H and the breath sound, as you find in Yahweh.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to make a breath sound on video.
It is.
So, verse 19, Sarah's going to have a son, and his name is going to be Isaac. And Isaac means laughter, which is kind of cute, because if you read in 17, here's Abraham on his face, and he is laughing. "I'm 99.
I'll be 100 years
Is this
old."
really going to
Yes.
happen?
Yeah. Wow.
99. But the Lord said, in 1 year. But Abraham is still concerned about his first son, Ishmael.
Yep.
Well, what about Ishmael? What
Right.
about him? And the Lord did make a promise to Hagar that
Yes.
that he will be
The father of nations.
of nations.
And he was.
And he was. Well, the original covenant came from Abraham. Ishmael is
Abraham's
from Abraham's seed.
child, yes.
So that went on, it's still the covenant to Abraham. So he does become father of 12 princes, and God makes him a great nation from Ishmael. Verse 23, so Ishmael and the servants every male was circumcised. 3 months later, Sarah became pregnant.
Wow.
Now, where did we get the 3 months later? Well, he said in 1 year. Well, 12 minus 9 is 3.
That's right.
So there's our
Yes.
3 months. She became pregnant. And, sometimes God's work in our lives comes in a dramatic moment. And sometimes it's just a slow struggle between flesh and the enemy. Abraham has waited a long time for this to occur. Yeah.
I think that's pretty typical, because life on this earth and in ourselves is not streamlined. I mean, we have resistance on every level. There's resistance, and sometimes the biggest resistance is right here between our 2 ears.
Yes, it is.
And also, there's resistance in that, just the way that this world operates. I mean, nothing's smooth. Nothing's easy.
No.
Nothing is easy. Even if it's something as benign as going to get groceries at the grocery store. It's not going to be smooth. There's always going to be something.
There's usually something.
Yep.
Like you leave your list at home.
That's right. Whatever it is.
Usually there's something going on.
Yeah. The line is long. They don't have what you want. I mean, it's just there's nothing easy in this world. And when you're called by God to do something, you know what? You just better be prepared for resistance.
I can understand with Abram. Here it is, 25 years. Ishmael is 13.
Yeah.
So he has been waiting since he was 70-something years old for Sarah to become pregnant. So they get Hagar involved, and they decide that they're going to have an illegitimate child, for lack of better wording. And then here's the Lord going, she's giving you a baby. So I understand his it's been 25 years. What do you mean? I have been waiting for this. And 25 years later?
Yeah, and my wife is 90.
90 years old. What are we doing here? So, it's a test of faith.
It is.
Yeah.
It's persistence. I mean, in life, you have to be persistent. If you're going to accomplish things in your life, you have to be persistent. If you're going to walk with the Lord and follow His will for your life, you have to be persistent. You can't just say, "Oh well, I give up."
Take a step of obedience, because our walk of faith is not one of perfection, but persistence.
That's right. We don't have to be perfect. Thank God.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Thank you, Jesus. And we get that through Jesus.
Absolutely.
So that was really kind of short this week, but that was the end of chapter 17, and we'll see y'all next week. Y'all have a good one.
Bye-bye.
If you want to know if it's real, then
admit you're a sinner. Romans 3:10. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one.
And as it is written in Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
Believe that Jesus is Lord. Romans 10:9-10.
Because if you confess with your mouth that the Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved.
And call upon the name of the Lord. Romans 10:13. For whoever calls in the name of the Lord shall be saved. If you enjoyed this episode,
Like, subscribe, and share.
you can contact us at
Contact itisreal@gmail.com.